I would like to talk about the psychology of stakes. Do you know what to do when a director gives you a note, raise the stakes? In this video, I will explain what raising the stakes means in practical terms and how to manifest it in your work. There is an unmistakable difference between a performance that simply works and one that grips the audience so completely that they think they're in the middle of a real, raw event. The difference is rarely just about technical skill. It's about stakes, specifically how deeply the actor understands and embodies them. Let's unpack the psychology behind stakes and explore how they can truly transform scenes that feel flat into compelling and transcendent performances. So let's start with, what are stakes really? On the surface, stakes are what the character stands to gain or lose. But on a human psychological level, stakes are actually about perceived consequences, not necessarily actual importance, but perceived importance. For example, a character asking for a glass of water, that can feel casual or even trivial, unless they haven't had water in days. The person they're asking controls their fate, or the request risks humiliation or rejection. An audience doesn't engage with events, they engage with meaning. Stakes are the engine that generates meaning. So here's why stakes are important. Human attention is wired around relevance and survival. When we sense that something matters, emotionally, socially, or physically, our brains automatically shift into sharper focus. In acting, this translates to increased tension, heightened listening, more specific and driven behavior, as well as emotional depth. When the stakes are low or unclear, both the actor and the audience's attention go on autopilot. That is when scenes feel flat. Here is a very common acting problem: generalized stakes. One of the most common issues in underwhelming performances: vague stakes. Consider this piece of direction. You really need this job. That's not wrong, but it's not playable. The imagination doesn't act on generalities. Now compare that to this adjustment. If you don't get this job, you will have to move back in with your estranged father, and you've spent the last 5 years proving that you are not a failure and can stand up on your own 2 feet. Now the stakes are personal, specific, and emotionally charged. Specificity activates the imagination, and the imagination activates behavior. Let's talk about external versus internal stakes. Professional level work integrates 2 different types of stakes. The first type, external stakes, plot-based. What physically happens if the character fails? They lose the job, they miss the opportunity, or they face punishment. The second layer is the internal stakes, which is always connected to a human need. So the internal stakes demand of the actor to ask the following question: what does it mean if they fail? I'm not enough, I'll be abandoned, or it means I don't belong. Audiences understand external stakes, but they feel internal stakes. Connecting to internal stakes is where the emotional resonance truly lives for the actor. Scenes that fall flat often have external stakes, but lack internal ones. The as-if bridge, rooted in the Stanislavski system, a powerful psychological tool for the actor, is the magic as-if, translating fictional stakes into personally meaningful equivalents. For example, instead of playing "I might lose this kingdom" using the magic as if, you would approach losing this kingdom as if you were about to lose the one relationship that defines your worth. This isn't about emotional substitution in an arbitrary sense. It's about aligning the nervous system with the reality of the stakes and giving that to your imagination. When your body and soul believes that something truly matters, the energy of the scene automatically transcends. Urgency, the missing ingredient. Even with clear stakes, scenes can still fall flat without urgency. Urgency comes from time pressure, imminent consequence, and escalation. Psychologically, urgency activates decision-making under tremendous stress. There is no room for passivity. Here's a useful question to ask yourself to figure out where the urgency might come from in a scene. Why must this happen now? If there's no compelling answer, the scene will drift. Obstacles create energy. Stakes alone aren't enough. If a character can easily achieve their goal, the scene dies, doesn't have a reason to exist. The actor's belief system engages through problem solving. Obstacles force the character to adapt, changing tactics, listening more closely, taking more risks. This is where your performance can come alive, because the actor is no longer showing emotion, but instead they're actually pursuing something under pressure. Here's how you raise the stakes without overacting. A common mistake is equating higher stakes with pushing for an emotion. But authentic stakes don't require volume. They require investment. In fact, higher stakes often produce the opposite outcome, such as maybe restraint, precision, sometimes even stillness. Because when something truly matters in your body and your soul, people conserve energy, or maybe they focus more intensely, or they make more careful, deliberate decisions. Ultimately, the goal is not to show the stakes. It is to let yourself be affected by them and then live truthfully. Here's a great real-world example. If you're looking for a performance that feels almost unbearably real in its emotional stakes, Michael B. Jordan in Fruitvale Station is a standout example. One of the things that really elevates Michael B. Jordan's performance is how he creates a space for empathy without idealizing the character. His portrayal of the character Oscar isn't portrayed as perfect. He's flawed. And that complexity is essential for the story. In other words, the audience isn't told that they have to care about this man. They discover reasons to care through Jordan's behavior moment to moment. This performance is a reminder that high emotional stakes don't require exaggerated acting. Sometimes the most heartbreaking performances are the ones that feel like real life is unfolding right in front of us. Here are some practical techniques to elevate any scene. 1. Define the cost of failure. Ask yourself, what happens if I don't get what I want? Then go a step further. Why does it matter so much to me? Number 2, personalize the stakes. Translate the situation into something that your mind and your body recognize as meaningful. Number 3, add urgency. Introduce a ticking clock, even if it's psychological. For example, this is my only chance that I can say this. Number 4, identify obstacles. Who or what is preventing my success? How does that force you to adapt? Number 5, play the objective, not the emotion. Focus on what you're trying to achieve, and you will organically discover actions. The professional shift. Amateur actors often ask, how should I feel in this scene? For professional actors, the question becomes, what's at stake and what am I willing to do to win? That shift from feeling to pursuit is everything. In conclusion, ultimately, stakes are not written directly into the script. They exist in the given circumstances that are presented by the writer. Stakes are activated by the actor's belief system. When an actor fully believes, this matters, I could lose something essential, and I must act right now, the audience believes it as well, automatically, and invests. And that's where a scene stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling like a real life or death drama. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Click on the description below for links to our website and for more information about the new Collective Acting Studio and our private coaching membership. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.